r/askreddit. What black markets did kids at your school run?
When I was in the 6th grade, a teacher sold candy in between classes at marked up rates. A student decided to undercut her. That put an end to all candy sales.
My high school had a film club that would shoot short films, thus needing some equipment. The teacher in charge of it would raise money for it by buying bulk boxes of candy bars and Pop-Tarts at Costco and sell them between classes for $1 each. He always had a line out the door of his classroom. Eventually he got shut down because the cafeteria manager complained that students buying snacks at school apparently kept them from buying the pig slop food the cafeteria served.
At my school, we would have pizza parties for FLA and sell pizza for $1 a slice during lunch. We got shut down for the same reason, so we started a boycott of school lunches. I threatened kids who didn't buy lunch with detention and tried banning lunches from home. Parents weren't too happy about that one.
I would buy 6 packs of soda for $1.79 and resell the 6 sodas for a total of $3.
I got punched in the face while having lunch with a classmate because he smashed my chip bag, so I retaliated by opening his Arizona. Apparently, what I thought was a perfectly equivalent response was in fact an act of war, since he was planning on reselling it, and he instantly stood up and hit me so hard I fell off my chair. F that guy.
But the price is on the can. Can't make a profit on that.
The only guy in the school whose family had proper TV channels used to tape wrestling events and rent them out.
That late 90s EQ was hard to get a hold of. My buddies and I would pool money to watch the PV events at my house and always recorded them on VHS. Unfortunately, my mother saw an especially bloody EQ match, so we could only order Wii events. Luckily, I was always nice to the 2 Ike kids, and they had all of the EQ crap. They would always loan me tapes to copy over the weekend, and on Monday we would be so excited to talk about them.
This is the most 90s Midwestern thing I've ever read.
MP3s and CDRs were just becoming available. A guy I knew made a killing on mixed CDs. Every week he circulated forms to fill out where you selected the songs you wanted on the CD. The newest hits were on the top and changed weekly. The rest of his library filled the rest of the form, and there was a space for requests. He'd deliver your disc the following week. He seriously made bank for a couple years until everybody started getting their own songs from LimeWire or whatever. I don't know what he's doing now 20 years later, but I don't doubt he's successful.
Hey, I used to burn CDs for family members for free. I'd buy those big spools of them where the CD averaged out to like 20 cents and burn them. But then my local store stopped selling them, so I had to switch to the individual packed cats, which were about $1/disc. I started asking family for either a buck to cover the cost or a blank disc, and everyone fucked off.
I switched to Tiger Direct when Walmart quit selling the spindles. The last time I ordered, I bought 300 discs. I think I used 3 or 4, and have had the rest sitting in a spare room for years.
Cuban sandwiches straight out of duffel bag before school. They were bomb cheap and way better than the lunch in the cafeteria.
I went to a private high school with a strict dress code, ties, belt, etc. So I bought a bunch of ties and belts from a thrift store and ran a lucrative rental business out of my locker.
If you forgot your gym uniform more than once, you would get fined $5 to rent a uniform from the teacher or serve a detention. I would buy an extra set in the beginning of the school year of each size and then rent them out / wash them myself, undercutting the teachers. Fine at a cost of $3. Very lucrative over my middle and high school years.
In high school, this guy sold socks in the hallways.
I'd ask why there was a market, but I'm not sure I want to hear the answer.
I went to school with a lot of emo kids, and apparently socks ruin the look of Converse and Vans. The gym teachers hated it so if you weren't wearing socks, you couldn't participate and you got an F for the day.
Silly bands. I remember a kid made like $50 one day.
Kinda similar. We had this rainbow looms thing where people had these tiny rubber bands and would make bracelets with them.
Apple laptops in middle school. Some had iTunes, some didn't, and the kids wanted it, so I apparently was the only one who knew how to transfer the installer with my USB. I put it on everyone's laptop for gifts, favors, etc. In return, got caught by the sub that day. I told her it was my flash drive, I could do what I wanted with it, and that's how I got my second detention of my life.
Apple laptops in middle school. Very few clauses have made me feel so old. We had Commodore 64s and a single VIC-20, and when I was in high school they thought they were big time since they had a number of computers running Windows 95. In grade school you had 1 hour of computer time per week, and it was used as a glorified typing class. In high school there was one semester course you could take called Computer Applications, more than anything how to use Office and the internet for research.
Banana chips were 25 vec in the vending machine in middle school. I always went to school early, so I always ended up buying all of them and selling them for 50 a bag.
This is the same business model as StubHub. Buy all the tickets at face value and resell for double the amount.
2 years ago, I was a sophomore in high school, and freshmen weren't allowed to go off campus, but everyone else was. So I'd take orders, go to the local fast food shops, and get the goods. I'd up the price by about $2, add up the price by about $2, and ended up making about $200 a month.
But what about gas money?
The stores were across the street, big city/downtown high school.
Used to crush up warheads and mix them with sugar. Sold them by the straw with the ends melted, 50 apiece.
Hey, kid, want some death sticks?
You don't want to sell me a death stick. You want to go home and rethink your life.
I used to sell Coke, the drink, because they didn't allow fizzy drinks to be brought in.
Pablo Frescobar.
Locker accessories such as carpets and magnets.
At my school, they too all sweets out of the vending machines and replaced them with healthy snacks. In the local town. There was a sweets for $5, so every week I would go there and buy sewn to small paper bags and spend the Sunday night before school repackaging them all ready for the week ahead. Come Monday, I would go into school and load my bag up every day, selling the bags for fifth type.
G-rated version of repacking and selling drugs.
I lived in an area with a lot of retiree-age people, a lot of which ended up raising their grandchildren. It really isn't a good area. Being older and from a rural area, they still don't trust online sites like eBay or Amazon, so I started ordering people things from those sites for actual money and added a charge for me to be making money off of it. It eventually got shut down because I got someone a USB in the shape of a pistol. It was the size of a USB and clearly a USB, but it didn't matter. The principal actually got the police involved to try to get me in real trouble. My brother got expelled in the 90s for having a lighter in the shape of a gun. Not that surprising. The funny part is that the school admins would only refer to it as a flamethrower throweth. So only refer to it as a so technically. He was kicked out for bringing a flamethrower to elementary school.
I have family in New York and would go visit a couple times a year back in high school. Every once in a while, we'd visit Chinatown in Nicey, and I'd end up buying $100 worth of fake watches, Lex, Tag, Gucci, etc., return to school and sell them for double than what I paid for them.
A lot of people still do this. They fly off to China, buy cheap knockoffs, and sell them for a huge markup wherever they're from. It's big business here in the Philippines. Cinnamon toothpicks were all the rage in grammar school.
Same at mine. We had a guy who was selling them for 25 cents a pop until the teachers finally shut down his business.
I've never heard of cinnamon toothpicks before. What was their appeal? Did people suck on them?